we were, in the end, super impressed and unable to differentiate truly between the Nissan team that didn't get a deal done and the team from the GM Harley-Davidson team that got a deal done that you saw here today.
Well, I first knew I was coming to Youth About Business, I didn't really know what to expect. And then when I got there, it was nothing like I expected.
It's opened my eyes to all of the different career aspects in business. You only hear of the big ones like Chief Executive Officer, CFO, but I know there's so many other now.
These young people are going to end up being our business leaders of the future, and I think it's important that we do everything we can to reduce the skill gap and help them to develop the proper skill sets. We immerse them in this merger acquisition simulation at Youth About Business, and it really gives these young people a chance to start developing the kind of skills that are going to be helpful. They start solving business problems, they start thinking critically very early on.
I started, becoming more and more familiar with the terminology, with the information. I started contributing more to my group. I started helping out with different things in the project, and at the end, the presentation, and I was answering questions with very important people, and I was comfortable talking about these topics that I was oblivious to like 5 days before.
One of the risks that you highlighted was the debt burden that the combined company would bear going forward, and your offer was 60% cash, and I assumed that most of that was coming through debt.
Knowing GM and its history, debt is really a concern, especially if we're going to acquire a company for a relatively high amount, paying 60% cash. So with that being said, if we look at the industry average for net debt to EBITDA, net debt to assets ratios, we find out that GM is very competitive in those ratios.
The mentors that came in, the lawyers that came in, all the business people that came in, I spoke with them, they gave me some of their background. It was just really helpful. That is the main thing, the connections and networking that you make.
I think as judges, because we hear about how talented the people are in this program, I think the questions are getting harder. Because I think when we started this, we said, well, these are teenagers, you can't be too tough on them. But the questions that we're getting now are the same questions you'd ask people who do this for a living. There's no sort of extra margin for error given to you because you guys are still in high school.
All of the different traits that I've acquired from the program, leadership, having confidence, having presence, it's not just about the business, it's about being able to communicate everything. So I think that's what I took away from the program.